this month. Hay solo pocos conciertos este mes. So we have to write the same, a sentence with the same meaning of the first one. So it says, there aren't very, no hay muchos, blank space, concerts this month. So which words are missing, guys? If you know the answer, you can write it on the meeting chat. Okay. Cynthia says many, 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 many. Yes, that's right. That's the right answer. Many. So let's check the answer. Yes. And see, and let's pass to the next one. Number 5. This room is too small for us to play music in. Esta habitación es demasiado pequeña para que nosotros toquemos música dentro. So we have to write a sentence with a similar meaning that says this room isn't, esta habitación no es, for us to play music in, para que nosotros toquemos música. Okay, Lisette says big enough. Big enough. Brian says big. Okay, guys. So in this case, yes, that's the right answer. Big enough. Enough. Sorry. Yes. Okay, guys. Uh, so now we are going to pass to the next part. Maybe you can find this structure in which you have to rewrite sentence, but also you have to write maybe an email, or also it could be an article, or maybe let me see, or also you can have to write a short story. So for this reason, in here we're going to read this part first, and we're going to review some tips to write a formal versus an informal email. So as you can see here, let me see. In here we have the order that says, mm, let me see, in this part. It says in the grading section of the preliminary English test, there are two parts. In part one, you have to write an email based on some notes. So the order says, read this email from your English-speaking friend, Sam, and the notes you have made. Write your email to Sam using all the notes. So in this part, we have to read first this email, and we have to focus on these words in red and in bold. As you can see, create ideas, suggest, answer and explain, and answer the question, okay? So this is an informal email. So we have in here this, the person who sends the email, the subject or the topic. We have the greeting. Then we have the reasons why this Sam is writing this email. And also we have some other things that he wants to share. And also we have a final greeting and like a signature in here. So we are going to see the difference between a formal versus an informal email. So as you can see here, we're going to see the structure of a formal email. So as you can see here, first of all, we have this, we have in here the email address, el correo electrónico. Then in here we have the subject, el tema, porque escribimos el correo. In here we have a formal greeting. In this case, when we want to greet someone in a formal way, we can use dear Mrs. Black in this case, so dear Miss, Mr., Miss, also, that because that is a formal greeting. So we're going to see the tips, the top tips for writing a formal email. So In this case, can you help me reading? Let me see. Catherine, please, can you help me reading the first one?
Yeah, teacher. Yeah. Number one, if you know the name of the person you're writing to use Mr. For a man and Mr. for a woman.
Okay, yes, in this case, it says that if we know the person who we are going to write this email, we need to use Mr. If we are talking, we are writing for a man, and Mrs. if we are writing for a woman in this case. Okay, thank you. And now let's read number two. Let me see. In this case, let me see. Stephanie Solano, please, can you help me reading number two?
Uh, okay, teacher. Start by saying what you are writing or what you are responding to.
Okay, yes. So in this case, it's important for us to start in the first line of our formal email. We need to write the reason why we are writing this email, or maybe if we are responding also to an email that we already received. We have to write the reason. Tenemos que escribir la razón por qué estamos escribiendo o por qué respondemos a un email que nos haya llegado, puede ser. So now we are going to read tip number three. In this case, let me see. Nicole, please, can you help me reading number three?
Okay, teacher. Use indirect questions such as I will be grateful if you call to ask for information politely.
Okay, thank you. So it says that maybe we can need to use some indirect questions, and here we have an example. I would be grateful if you to ask for information politely. So in this case, it says that let me see the number three. So I would be grateful if you could provide some further information. Le estaría muy agradecido si pudiera proveerme o darme más información. So this is a kind of indirect question that we need to use to sound more polite. Es una frase que podemos utilizar para sonar más educados. Eh, al momento también puede ser de pedir alguna cosa, to request something in this email. So now let's read number four. In this case, can you help me reading Stefano, please?
Use words like firstly, secondly, and finally to order your points.
Okay, thank you, Stefano. So in this case, it says that maybe if we have different points to talk to in this email, we need to add these words like firstly, secondly, and finally. So as you can see in this email, firstly, it says in the advertisement, also we have secondly in here, and finally. In this case, it's asking a final question about something of this advertisement. And now we're going to read the next one, number five. In this case, can you help me reading Gabby, please?
Use these standard uh, para paras to finish a formal letter or email.
Okay, so we're going to see this, the one I look forward to hearing from you. This is a kind of greeting also. I look forward to hearing from you. And that is very polite, so we need to write this sentence almost at the final part of our email. And also, let's read the last one. Last, the last one. So it says, if you began the email with dear and the name of the person, finish with yours sincerely. If you have used dear, sir, or madam, finish with yours faithfully. So it says maybe that if we started our email writing this word dear and the name of the person, we need to finish using this phrase, yours sincerely. And maybe if we also we can use if we start using the words dear, sir, or madam, we need to finish this email with the phrase yours faithfully. So those are phrases that we can use also as a final greeting in this case. And then finally we have to write our name, that is uh, like our signature could be. And that's it for, in this case, for formal emails. And now we're going to see the structure of an informal email. So in this case, we're going to read the tips that we have in here. So let me see. In this part, we have the first one. So in this case, Jennifer Gomez, please, can you help me reading number one?
Okay. Use formalized
Yes.
expression to start and finish your email.
Okay, thank you. So in this case, it says that maybe we can need to use some phrases like this, like we have in here. Thanks for your email. It's great to hearing from you. It's also like a greeting, maybe. It's great to hearing from you. And then we have to finish the email with a similar expression. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. So now let me see. We have number two. In this case, can you help me reading Miguel, please? Number two.
Just I prefer a more infinite to say which option you want to do.
Okay, yes, in this case, we need to use this structure. I would prefer plus the infinitive to say, to express maybe between options, maybe if we want to do something. So as you can see in here, we have an example. I would prefer to go on a boat trip on the river. So maybe we need to talk about opinions or which options if we have different options, maybe we decide to do one of these, we need to use this structure. I would prefer to, and the thing that we're talking about in this case. Okay, thank you, Miguel. Now we're going to read number three. In this case, is going to help me, Cynthia, please. Can you help me reading number three?
Yes, teacher. Use informal words and expressions.
Okay, so as this is an informal email, we need to use in this case informal expressions. As you can see, chilled out over here, and also lots of stuff. Those are kind of very informal phrases that we use in our in speaking mostly, I guess. So we need to use those expressions also. And now let's see number four. We have, in this case, can you help me reading, please? Angie, please.
Yeah, teacher. Respond to your friends'
Or
email
me?
in in a friendly style.
Okay. Yes, in this case, it says that maybe if we received an email to our friend from our friends, we have to respond to this email in a friendly way and also maybe in a chatty style. So it means that maybe we can write uh, similar to when we write messages maybe on WhatsApp or social networks. So we have to write in a similar way and also in a friendly uh, form. So now we're going to read number five. In this case, it's going to help me reading. Let me see. Priscilla, please, can you help me reading number 5?
Use a variety of structures for giving advice.
Okay, thank you. So in this case, it means that maybe this is quite common for you because you will find um, in an email like this that you will have to respond. So you have to focus on specific details. Maybe if you have any question from your friend, your imaginary friend in this case, and that you have to suggest something. So for this part is important for you to use these expressions like why don't you or you should try. En algunas partes tenemos que dar sugerencias o consejos, tal vez también podría ser para responder alguna pregunta que nos den en el email que nos dan de ejemplo. Entonces tenemos que utilizar estas frases. ¿Por qué no pruebas hacer esto? O tú deberías tratar o deberías hacer esto para mejorar algo más dependiendo de lo que nos diga en el texto. And now we're going to see the last one that says, don't forget to respond to all the points in your friend's email. So this is really important because we need to focus on these words in red. For example, great idea and these questions. So, would you like to go and see my friend playing with her group? We need to respond to all the questions in this case because that is important. So, as you can see in here, it's the same. We have these words in red, great idea, and here we have it says suggest. So we have to write a suggestion. Also in here we have to answer this question and explain something. And also in the finally we have another question that we have to answer. So as you can see in here, this is the structure of writing an email. So we have to respond to this email. And also you can find some other structures like this, in which we have to write an article. Puede ser que nos toque la parte de escribir un email o escribir un artículo o también escribir una historia que ya vamos a ver. So in this case, the author says, let me see, let me selecting here. You see this notice on an English language website. So, and the main topic of the article will be helping people. And the author says, write an article answering these questions, and we will put it on our website. So in this case, we need to write an article for a website responding to these two questions. The first one says, what kinds of people needs our help? And the last one, when did you last help someone? What did you do? So as the main topic is helping people, we need to write an article. Maybe the extent of words will be between 100 to 200 maximum, I guess, because of the time. So you will have to write an article for about with this amount of words. So for this part, I'm going to explain you something that will be useful for you to write your article. So in this case, we have an example of an article of a magazine that talks about bullying. That's the main topic. So in here we have the title that says the happiest days of your life, and this is a question. The author of the article. Then we're going to pass to see the top tips for writing an article. And in here we have the first one that says use a catchy title to get people interested. Usen o traten de usar un título que sea llamativo para para tener el interés de las personas, de los lectores. In this case, this tip isn't useful for us because in the structures that we have in here, maybe we can find the topic. So the topic is helping people, so that will be. Also, maybe you can write a title with that topic, but that depends on you. So if you have to write the title of that topic, maybe you can try to use this tip to write a catchy title to get people interested. Then the second one, let me see, we have in here. Can you help me, Samantha, please, reading the tip number 2? Or maybe Michael, please, can you help me reading tip number 2, the one in sky blue? Or let me see. I'm sorry. Or maybe Erika
Yo le
Bonilla.
ayudo, teacher.
Okay, please.
Ask direct questions to get the reads attention.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. It says ask direct questions to get the reader's attention. So we're going to see maybe an example in here. So this in here we have two examples. What can make people's lives a misery during this time then? And the second one, what can people do to stop this problem? So those are direct questions that maybe are really useful for the reader to be more attentive, maybe in some details that you want to focus on in your writing. So that is really useful for you. So maybe if you have to write an article, try to formulate a question, a direct question related with the topic, and then connect maybe with some other idea. Because for a reader is like maybe something catchy, maybe to see a question that could be something that helps the reader to feel more comfortable or to feel more entertained in your reading and in the reading. So that's for calling the reader's attention. That is really useful, guys. And now we're going to see number 3. In this case, it's going to help me reading. Let me see. Brian, please, can you help me reading number 3?
Yes. Use opinion adverbs to introduce your points.
Okay, so as you can see, maybe if we need to add our personal opinions, we need to use these adverbs like unfortunately, desafortunadamente, obviously, maybe personally, personalmente, and hopefully. Uh, though remember that all the words that ends in this termination L and Y are considered like adverbs. So we can use these words to introduce our personal opinions. As you can see in here, personally, I think teachers need to be aware that bullying may be happening in their classes and be very strict with them when they have to have a case of bullying. So in this case, we're introducing a personal opinion. So if you want to introduce your personal opinions in your article, you can use these words. Then we have number 4. In this case, can you help me reading Steve, please?
Yes, teacher. Give a real life example or talk about personal experience.
Okay, yes, this is also really important for the reader because it's important maybe for us to give a real example about the topic. Maybe we can write about our real experiences, our personal experiences. So in this case, it says a friend of mine, un amigo mío. So and we can tell the experience maybe of a friend in this case. Or also maybe we can tell our personal experience about something. So as the main topic in here is bullying, maybe if we had experienced something with related with this topic, maybe we can write it here, or use this expression, a friend of mine, or someone I know, alguien que conozco, tuvo una experiencia negativa, says in here, had a very negative experience at school. So it's important maybe for us if we also can use this tip to catch the attention of the reader. And then we have number 5. In this case, can you help me reading Bibi, please? Viviana, please, can you help me reading number 5? Or maybe Lisette Pineda?
Teacher, dijo Viviana.
Yes, please. But Bibi, you're going to
Oh,
help me reading the last one. But in this case, Lisette is going to help me with number 5. Can you see it? I can, ya no puedo bajar más. Yes, please.
A ver,
Can you
I
see
like
number
his
5?
the choose
Okay.
an neutral of informal style depending of the audience.
Okay, thank you. So it says that maybe we need to change the style of our writing depending on the audience or maybe on the topic because there are some topics that we need to use some formal language on some formal style in our writing, but there are some other topics that are like more informal, so we need to define this part. Tenemos que darnos cuenta dependiendo. En este caso, como el tema es bullying, podríamos hablar con un lenguaje un poco más informal porque vamos a dar nuestras opiniones o también algún ejemplo de con una experiencia de alguna persona que conozcamos o una experiencia propia. And then, and the final one, please, Bibi, you are going to help me reading the last one. Now, please, Bibi, can you help me reading the last tip?
solo es que no puedo ver la pantalla, yo creo que es
Oh,
por el internet, está todo oscuro, entonces por
okay,
eso estoy un
okay.
poquito, solo estoy escuchando.
Okay, don't worry. Yes, it can happen. Uh, okay, thank you. And so the last one says divide your ideas into clear paragraphs. Also, this tip is really important for you because when you're writing an article, you need to write paragraph per paragraph. Maybe the most common structure is to write firstly an introduction, then we have to write a body paragraph and a concluding paragraph. So uh, the most simple articles have 3 paragraphs, so you can, depending on the amount of words, maybe you can have to write from 100 words to maximum 200 words, I guess. You need to divide your writing in 3 paragraphs. Because if you write a whole paragraph, that's not um, that can be overwhelming for the reader, and also it won't have an organized structure, and that's not good for you guys. So that's the reason why it's important to write your article divided into paragraphs. So as you can see here, we have 1 paragraph, 2, 3, and 4 paragraphs. And that's it for writing an article. Maybe if you find this in your test, you have to write an article. Now you know some useful tips that will help you to write it in a better way. And also we're going to see the final one that it says writing an story. So let's read the order in this case. Let me see. Okay. So it says your English teacher has asked you to write an story. Your story must begin with this sentence. So in this part, we have this introducing sentence that we need to write. According to this sentence, we have to write a whole story. We need to write our story. So this sentence says, the island didn't look far away, and I felt sure that I could reach it. La isla no se miraba tan lejos, y yo me sentí seguro que podría alcanzarla. So now with this sentence, it's important for you to try to imagine a scenario maybe of this story in your mind, for you to find out some ideas that you can add to your story. So in this case, I'm going to share with you a video about some useful tips to write a short story. So in here we have the video, so let me see. Okay guys, so pay attention to this video because those parts are really important for you to write your story.
So you want to write a great short story, but you're not sure how to begin? You might want to consider using the 8-point story arc. This is a simple but effective method for planning a well-developed story. The 8-point story arc is made up of 8 key elements: stasis, the trigger, the quest, the surprise, the critical choice, the climax, the reversal, and the resolution. Now let's talk about each one of these elements in more detail. The first point is stasis. The word stasis simply means equilibrium or balance, and can be thought of as the protagonist's everyday life in which the story is set. This is the exposition of the story, where the characters and setting are introduced. Picture Cinderella sweeping the ashes for her wicked stepmother, or poor Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk living in poverty with his mom and a cow.
Okay, so
Or
these
Harry.
stages mean like writing like an introduction, maybe like a normal daily activities of the characters. But if you have this introductory sentence that we have to write, so there's no we cannot write an stasis because there we have um, something maybe that can be related with the plot, I guess. So in this case, if you have to start your story writing from these sentences that it's provided on the activities, there's no need for you to write an stasis.
Harry Potter, living with the Dursley family. The second point in a story's arc is the trigger. Eventually, something happens in the story which is outside of the control of the main character, or protagonist. This is referred to as the trigger, because this leads to the evolution of the story. The trigger is the beginning of the rising action. Here are a few examples of triggers. In Cinderella, her fairy godmother appears. In Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack encounters a man with magic beans. And in Harry Potter, Harry receives a letter of acceptance to
Okay,
Hogwarts.
so as you can we read the sentence that in which we have to write this story. That could be the trigger because it's something that happened, maybe that is implicit that happened because maybe the main character could be a man or a woman, depending on whoever you want to write about. Maybe the stasis could be that he or she was living a perfectly normal life until maybe he went for vacation in a boat and something happened and now he is he or she are trying to approach to this island. So that will be in this case the trigger. Something happened to change the story, the normal life of a person, of the character.
The next part in the story's arc is the quest. This is typically referred to as the rising action, and is a direct result of the story's trigger. If the trigger is positive in nature, it may lead the protagonist on a quest to maintain this new, improved existence. But if the trigger is negative or problematic, it leads to the protagonist's quest to return life to its normal existence.
Okay, so in this case, the quest. So the quest is related with the trigger. So the trigger was the main character trying to that sees an island that wasn't too far away. So the quest could be trying to approach maybe to the island and trying to maybe establish in the island and looking for food and water to survive there. That could be the quest.
Stories also tend to include surprises, the fourth point in a story's arc. Surprises are unexpected events that occur during the protagonist's quest. These can be positive events, but more commonly, they are challenges or obstacles that prevent the protagonist from completing his or her quest. One type of surprise may be the introduction of a new character, who either helps the protagonist or stands in their way. Surprises must be used purposefully, but still be unexpected for the reader.
Okay, also we need to add surprises. Maybe as you can see, these kind of surprises are more common to be some challenges. Maybe if the protagonist is already in the island and he or she is trying to find some food or something, something else can happen, a challenge, algún reto, alguna cosa desafiante, puede ser como una sorpresa o también puede ser para introducir a algún personaje nuevo. Maybe you can see if there was also another person in that island that could be also a way to use, in this case, surprise to introduce a new character.
The next point in the story's arc is critical choice. In every good story, the protagonist is put in a position where they must make a critical choice. The decision they make is key to the story and reveals the protagonist's true character to the reader. Perhaps the character must choose between an easier, albeit bad, course of action, or they may choose a harder, more righteous path. The sixth point in the story's arc.
Okay, as you can see, maybe in some stories also you can use this critical choice because it's also good for a reader to see maybe if the main character has to do an important choice, maybe between something that could be really hard to decide for that person. Maybe it could be to staying in the island or leaving the island to return to his or her normal life. So that could be a critical choice maybe in this story.
Is the climax. The decision made by the character when faced with the critical choice leads to the climax. This is the point in the story with the highest level of tension for the reader. For example, Cinderella and her evil stepsisters trying on the glass slippers for the prince. Next, we have the reversal. The reversal is the outcome of the critical choice and the climax, and it typically results in major changes for the characters. It's important that a story's reversal is logical and based on the events leading up to it.
Okay, in this case also we have the climax that is the most controversy part of the story is where all things that can change maybe or you can give the story another a different angle could be pueden darle un giro total a la historia o pueden es la parte más controversial donde sucede alguna cosa that can change the whole story maybe that's it and
The final point
then we
in a
have
story.
the resolution, guys. That is the final part. Maybe if you want to give a happy ending to your story, or maybe there are stories with that have a happy ending. Also, that could be something neutral or something bad.
Arc is its resolution. This is where the protagonist reaches a new stasis. Typically, with dynamic characters, the characters will have evolved, learning important life lessons through their experiences.
Okay,
Well,
guys, so
that
those 8 points are really useful for you to write a good short stories, guys. So remember the stasis. Maybe if you need to write something about without this sentence, this first sentence that we saw before in this part. Let me see where it was. So in some cases, you won't find this sentence that says the island didn't look far away and I felt sure that I could reach it. In some parts, maybe then they will give you just the topic, could be, and then you can have to write the beginning, maybe the stasis, something that was normal, and then something changed, and that's it, guys. So those are also some useful tips that maybe can help you to write a story in a better way. So remember that you can find whatever of these structures, maybe the part of rewriting a sentence. Also, maybe you can find responding to an email or writing an email. Also, maybe you can find writing an article about whatever topic they gave you. And the final one will be writing a short story, guys. And that's it, guys. If you have any question up to this point, please let me know. If you want me to clarify you something else. ¿Alguna duda, chicos? No? Okay, guys.
Me,
So
teacher.
okay, tell me, Nikki.
Para escribir la historia en el PET, ¿nos darían el tema o es una historia que nosotros querramos?
En algunas, por ejemplo, en este ejercicio, ya nos dan una oración inicial y dice que tenemos que escribir nuestra historia en relación a esta oración. En este caso dice, la isla no se miraba tan lejos y yo me sentí seguro de que podía alcanzarla. En otros casos puede ser que les den el tema nomás, puede ser, como veíamos el ejemplo, bueno, puede ser alguna historia imaginaria, no sé, de fantasías, o alguna historia personal, o alguna historia que puedan escribir sobre crimen. Les pueden dar el tema nomás. Escriba una historia sobre, con el tema de crimen y castigo. Crime and punishment.
Ujú.
And you have to write it.
Pero generalmente,
Esa es
generally, ajá. Generally, you're going to find something like this exercise if in the PET exam. Que generalmente si es historia se van a encontrar con una frase con la que deben iniciar ustedes su historia, ¿no? Entonces ahí les dice justo como aquí, your story must begin with this sentence. Ese must les está obligando a que sí o sí debe empezar la historia con esa frase. No necesariamente debe tener sentido. Ustedes le van a dar sentido a esa frase desarrollando la historia. Entonces puede ser que el inicio, la frase inicial de la historia cambie y les pongan, qué sé yo. Yesterday I was going to the school when. Sí, puede ser que empiece así el título, ¿no? Ayer estaba yendo a la escuela cuando, y ustedes tienen que empezar con esa frase y continuar la historia, ¿sí? En el caso de que sea un artículo, como les decía Teacher Diego, pues les van a dar un tema, ¿no? For example, write an article about global warming. Sí, escribo un artículo sobre el calentamiento global. Y ahí ustedes tendrán que poner la introducción, hacer un par de párrafos donde ustedes expliquen las ideas principales y luego un último párrafo donde concluyen todo. Esas son las dos formas principales que se van a encontrar ustedes, aparte obviamente del email en un examen escrito.
Okay, Nikki, hope you you clarify your question, okay? Maybe some other question, guys. ¿Alguna otra pregunta? Tal vez algo que no quedó claro.
Teacher, ¿y qué límite de palabras existen en esas preguntas? ¿O no hay límite?
Sí, hay
Sí,
límite.
sí,
Ajá.
sí,
Como les decía,
sí,
teacher Diego, ajá, tienen una base, o sea, sí van a tener como un mínimo de preguntas, perdón, de palabras. El mínimo es de 100, ¿sí? Y como les decía, teacher Diego puede ir de 100 a 100 a 200, dependiendo, ¿no? Si es un artículo, obviamente puede ser un poco más extenso, pero una historia también puede ser un poquito más corta. Lo ideal es que ustedes tengan 10, 100 palabras en su artículo o en su email.
and also maybe for you could be también puede ser que, digamos, cuando nos dan un límite de palabras, nos dicen 100 palabras, puede ser que algunos nos pongamos a contar, entonces no, ahí perdemos el tiempo. Más o menos sería de que tengan idea de que se pueden escribir hasta 10 palabras por una oración, por línea podrían ser. Entonces van contando, sería mejor solo contar las líneas que tienen y no cuántas palabras, sino porque ahí perderían también más tiempo si se ponen a contar cuántas palabras tengo. No es necesariamente escribir exactamente las 100, sino las 100 palabras serían como un mínimo. Y así eso podría ser que les sirva también. Más o menos que se den cuenta que van a haber 10 palabras por línea. Entonces, si escriben unas 10 líneas, 11 líneas, ya estarían casi las 100 palabras.
Exacto. Sí, esa es la forma en la que los profesores nos damos cuenta más rápido de cuántas palabras, porque si no, imagínense estar contando los trabajos de toditos.
Claro. So that's it. And now we are going to pass to do an writing exercise. So as you can see in here, we have a Padlet that says writing an email. So in this part, we're going to write an email responding to this email. So then I will explain you. Then in here we have this Padlet that says write an article. In this case, we're going to write about this topic, helping people. That is the main topic that we're going to use to write in this case, and we have to respond to those questions. So let me put it over here. In this case,
Pay attention, guys, to this activity because this is going to be your graded classwork today. ¿Sí? Este va a actuar como el classwork del día de hoy, la parte de writing. Es decir, que lo que les pida el teacher Diego va a ser su evidencia, cuando ustedes concluyan el writing, va a ser su evidencia para la actividad con el nombre de Classwork Number 14. Si ya les creé la actividad, tienen la actividad como Classwork número 14, van a subir la foto de como evidencia del trabajo escrito que el teacher Diego les va a explicar ahorita. Así que cualquier duda o pregunta, háganla para que puedan estar clara esta parte de writing.
okay, guys. And then we have the final Padlet that is related with the story. Write a story, and we have to write a story with that starts with this sentence. So in this case, I'm going to give you the opportunity to choose. You have to choose between these three ones. Les voy a enviar los tres links y ustedes van a decidir si es que quieren escribir un email o si es que quieren escribir el artículo o una historia, porque ustedes se pueden encontrar con cualquiera de estas tres estructuras en su prueba, entonces pueden practicar. Pero ahí tienen que elegir solo una, van a elegir de las tres. Ya les envío ahorita los links. I'm going to send you, let me see, on the meeting chat, the first one that is for the email. the second one that is for the article, and the last one that is for the story. So also I'm going to send the links to the let me see, I'm going to send the links to the WhatsApp group. Here we have the first one and the second one and the last one. Okay, let me see. Okay. Give me a minute, guys, because I need to find my cell phone because I cannot send the links to you in WhatsApp. So give me a minute, just a minute.
Okay, while teacher Diego goes and find his cell phone, guys, did you understand what you have to do? Can you tell me, please, Cynthia, what do you have to do?
¿Se me escucha, teacher?
Yes.
Vamos a escribir ya sea un mail, una historia un artículo en el Padlet. Ya nos envió el link.
As you know, the last part we have in the PET exam, it's going to be the speaking part. Why is this the last part? Because it's not going to take so long like in the other parts of the exams. This part, it's only going to take maybe from 10 to 12 minutes, a maximum of 15 minutes, because you just have to speak, right? So this is going to be the length of the speaking part. So it means that you're going to be talking for about 12 to 15 minutes, as you can see here. And there are going to be two examiners. It means that there are going to be two teachers grading your performance in the speaking part. So how is it going to be this part of the exam? This is the only part of the exam where you are going to interact in couples. It means that you're going to have someone else with you in this speaking part, like a classmate or a partner. We don't know who's going to be, because you are going to be called in couples for this speaking section of the PET exam. This speaking part, as I told you, has 4 parts. It is formed of 4 parts, 4 main parts. We're going to see what do we do in each part. Okay, so it's important that you keep in mind that you are going to have just 12 to 15 minutes to talk, that you're going to be with someone else, with a partner or a classmate, and that you will have to go through 4 stages, okay? So let's continue with the next part. In part number 1 of your speaking test, you're going to be tested like if you were introducing yourself. What do I mean with this? It means that you're going to talk or you're going to be graded individually, because you're going to be asked about personal questions or personal information questions. Maybe the teacher is going to ask you something about your name, your last name. How do you spell your name or your last name? What are your hobbies? If you like to do something specifically, or maybe what did you do yesterday? What are you going to do next week? In this part, we are not just knowing something about you, but we're trying to listen how good are you with the tenses, specifically with the main tenses. It means past, present, and future. So probably you're going to get a question where you can use these tenses, okay? How long is it going to take this part? This part, it's not going to be longer than 2 or 3 minutes per each participant. Okay, so each one of you will have 2 to 3 minutes to answer these personal information questions. How are the questions going to be? You're going to have questions such as these ones over here. For example, questions where they ask you, where do you study? Or maybe, do you study? What subject do you study? Or maybe, do you have a job? Or what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Those are going to be some samples of questions you may have the day of the speaking test. Something else we have over here is some other questions with specific personal information. For example, here we have, look at this. The examiner will ask you easy questions to know more about you. We want to know more about you. Okay, so I'm going to ask some of you to help me reading these questions. Okay, can you help me reading these questions, these 3 questions, please? Annabelle, could you help me reading, please?
What's your name? Can you spell your name and your surname? Where do you live?
Exactly. So here we have some example, some sample questions. For example, you were saying, what's your name? Can you spell your surname? Ojo que en esta parte pueden encontrarse con esto, ¿no? Pueden encontrarse maybe with the word surname or maybe last name. Both mean the same. Las dos significan exactamente lo mismo. Surname or last name. Las dos equivalen a lo mismo. Then we have, where do you live? Okay. You can also be asked with the question, where are you from? Sí, también les pueden preguntar, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Can you help me please reading the next 3 questions? Let me see. Help me reading the 3 following questions. Please, Nikki.
Do you work or study? Do you like studying English? And what do you do in your free time?
Exactly. So let's see the next 3 questions we have right here. Can you help me reading these 3 questions, please, Brian?
Where are you from? Do you have any hobbies? What do you hope to do in the next few years?
Perfect. So, where are you from? Do you have any hobbies? What do you do in your free time? All of these are going to be possible questions you can have. One of the ones that you're always going to have is a question related with English. This is going to be a must, okay? Esto es algo que de ley les va a salir en la parte de speaking, que es la pregunta de algo relacionado con el inglés. ¿A qué me refiero con algo relacionado con inglés? Les pueden preguntar, ¿do you like studying English? ¿Les gusta estudiar inglés? O generalmente lo que se suele preguntar es, do you think English is important in your life? ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, ¿cree usted que el inglés es importante para su vida? Avoid, guys, avoid all yes and no answers. ¿Sí? Eviten responder sí y no. Siempre en la parte de speaking van a tener que ampliar su respuesta. Eso significa que ustedes van a decir, do you like to study English, for example? Yes, I like to study English because I can understand foreign people, I can understand movies and listen to music and know what they are saying. That could be an example, okay? So try to avoid yes or no, or maybe short and direct answer. Try to extend your answers. Try to answer in a little bit more complete way. And don't go through the bushes, okay? No se vayan por las ramas, solo respondan lo que se les pregunta, pero traten de hacerlo en una frase un poco más larga que sí o no, okay? For example, if you are asked about your name, si les preguntan sobre su nombre, for example, what's your name? You can say, sí, en lugar de decir Nicole, por ejemplo, ¿sí? ¿Cómo se llama? Nicole. Eviten responder únicamente con su nombre. Try to answer something like, my name is Nicole, but everyone calls me Nikki. Okay, that's a possible answer for this kind of questions. Si traten de ser un poco más completas, que sean un poco más completas o extendidas sus respuestas. Sí, incluso cuando les preguntan su nombre, ¿no? Algo que sí deben saber al dedillo, que los estudiantes que les ha tocado conmigo en los primeros niveles y sobre todo de forma principal saben, es que deben saber deletrear al revés y al derecho su nombre y apellido. Okay, that's a must. Eso es algo que se tiene como una obligación, por así decirlo. Saber deletrear nombre y apellido. ¿Por qué? Porque esa es una pregunta de cajón que les va a salir en el speaking. Y si ustedes ya se lo saben, es mucho más fácil o no se van a complicar ni a poner nerviosos en esta parte del speaking. ¿Ok? Pay attention to all these details. ¿Sí? Pongan atención a todos estos detalles porque como ustedes saben ya todos los exámenes vuelven a ser presenciales. ¿Sí? Es decir, que su examen, si ustedes terminan este fin de mes quinto nivel y deciden ya tomar el examen de suficiencia, lo van a hacer de forma presencial. Así que en la parte de speaking puede ser que nos dé nervios, nos ganen los nervios, ¿sí? Hay que repasar de antemano. Sobre todo porque ustedes ya tienen la información de cómo va a ser la parte de speaking, right? You have some of the questions you can be asked in this speaking part. Okay, guys, and this time we're going to practice each part of the speaking section. So we're going to start with some groups again. I'm going to make groups. This time you're going to be or you're going to work in pairs. Okay, so you can practice asking each other these questions we have right here, okay? So I'm going to share with you this image with the questions in the WhatsApp group. So you can start asking to your classmate these questions. Remember all the tips that I gave you? So you can have a better performance here in the speaking part, okay, in the speaking practice. I will send you right now the image. I have it over here. Okay, I will send you the image of the questions so you can you can start asking and answering these questions in your groups, okay? So let's go back and I'm going to start creating the groups. How much time are you going to have for this part? Remember that we are practicing. In real life, you are going to have less time than the one that we're going to have in this practice, okay? In this practice, you're going to have 6 minutes to ask these questions to your classmates, okay? Ask and answer. 6 minutes to ask these questions to your classmates. You have this image in your WhatsApp group. Debió haberles ya llegado esta imagen al grupo de WhatsApp. Sí, y vamos a preguntar a su compañero que les tocó y a responder esas preguntas que tenemos en WhatsApp, ¿ok? For this activity, guys, 6 minutes. 6 minutos para esta actividad. Remember that if you want, you can share the screen with your classmates so it can be easier. Si se les facilita, pueden compartir la pantalla con su compañero para que no tengan ningún problema. Okay, so I think it's time for us to start. Please, guys, can you join to your groups? Pueden unirse a los grupos para que empiecen la actividad. Pregunten y respondan a sus compañeros, okay? Enter to your groups, guys. Enter to your groups. Maybe it's going to be a group of 3. Okay, let me see. I'm going to number 2, number 3. There you go. Please, guys, enter to your groups. Erika, Steffi, enter to your groups, please.
Me sacaron del grupo, Lice, no se me salió, no sé.
Tú te saliste, sí, estabas con Joana.
Sí, se me salió, pero no hice nada.
Happened with you. Let me see if I can fix it. ¿Dónde estás, Steffi? No me sales aquí, no he entrado. Estás en la número 4. ¿Listo, Steffi? Jenny, you were saying something. Me mandaste como ayudita. Estás solita, ¿no?
Teacher. Ajá, estaba con una de mis compañeras, pero se salió y no volvió a entrar.
Sí, no sé qué está pasando con el groups, pero les está sacando a unos, les está botando ya reviso. En todo caso, volvemos a hacer la actividad. Dame un segundo.
in work.
Ya creo que se acaba.
No, falta.
Ya. Ah, no, ya se acaba. Queda 7, 6, 5.
Okay. So some of you could practice during the group activity, but some of you couldn't because we have these problems with groups. But I'm going to ask you again these questions and you're going to help me with your possible answers, okay? So let's start with question number 1. What's your name? Can you answer this question, please, Lisette? Lisette Pineda, could you help me answering the first question?
Yes, teacher. No sé si me escucha, estoy con el
Yes.
micrófono un poco bajo. No sé si es del internet.
Yes, sí te puedo escuchar.
Ay, a ver. Le leo la...
Answer the question. Yo te pregunto, tú me respondes. What's your name?
My name is Lizeth Pineda.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisette. Let's continue with the next one. Vamos a ver la segunda. Can you please, let me see. Steve, are you there?
¿Dijo Steve, Lisa?
Yes.
Ah, ya.
Can you help me spelling your name, please? How do you write your name?
S-T-E-E-B.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. Let me see. I'm going to take a few minutes here and I'm going to ask some of you, how do you spell your name? Josie, can you help me answering question number 2? Can you spell your name, please?
Yeah, teacher. Es de letra del nombre y el apellido, ¿verdad? Sí, ¿no?
Just the name. Ajá. En este caso te pedí solo tu nombre. Just
ya. My name is Wei O S E L Y N.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Can you help me also with your spelling your name, please? Let me see. Brian, can you help me spelling your name?
Yes, teacher. B-R-Y-N-N.
B-R-Y-A-N. Perfect. Thank you. So now, can you help me answering this question? Where do you live? Can you answer this one, please, George? Where do you live?
I live in San Antonio de Ibarra, teacher.
Exactly, perfect. What about you, Michael? Michael Israel, where do you live?
I live in Ibarra, teacher.
Exactly, perfect. This one, Tanya, do you work or study?
I study for the moment in nursing, but on vacation in the work.
Okay, but on vacation I work. Perfect. Let's continue with the next. Do you like studying English? Can you help me with your answer, please? Erika Bonilla. Do you like studying English?
Teacher, Erika dice que está con un problema del internet, que se le cuelga cada rato, que ella está intentando arreglar.
Yes, I was going to say the same. Sí, iba a mencionar lo mismo porque ella entra y sale a cada momento si es problema del internet. Help me with the answer, please, Saulo. Do you like studying English?
Yes, teacher, it's very important, but I don't like it very much.
Okay, it's very important even though you don't like it very much. Thank you so much. Let's continue with the same question. Please, Stefano, can you help me answering this question? Do you like studying English?
Yes, I like studying English because it's a way to communicate it with another countries.
With other countries. Thank you. Let's move to this one. What do you do in your free time, Melanie? What do you do in your free time?
Okay. In my free time, I try to relax watching a series or movies in Netflix or sleeping. Or sometimes I like to go from a walk with my pet.
Okay, perfect. That's a good answer. Esa es una muy buena respuesta. Try to enumerate some activities you usually do in your free time. Anita, can you tell me what do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I have a quiet plan because I read romantic stories and I like to write poems.
Perfect, thank you. So that's very interesting. Can you help me with the answer of the next one? Where are you from? Can you help me with this answer, please, Miguel? Where are you from? Estás con el micrófono desactivado, pero no te puedo escuchar, Miguel.
¿Ahí me escucha?
Perfect, yes.
I'm from Ecuador.
Exactly. Thank you, Miguel. No se olviden que el where are you from es una pregunta mucho más amplia, ¿no? ¿De dónde vienes? ¿De dónde eres? Do you have any hobbies, Angie?
Yes, my hobby is I like to do sport and draw. Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget, guys, that when you are describing your hobbies, si son varios hobbies, acuérdense de utilizar are, ¿sí? My hobbies are, mis hobbies son, ¿no? Porque vamos a hablar de algunos. Pero si tienen una sola cosa, un solo hobby que les gusta, sería my hobby is. Okay, remember that. Christian, can you help me? What do you have? Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I have any hobbies. I practice to sport in the weekend. For example, in my case is football and sport and running.
Okay, thank you, Christian. And let's see the last question we have right here. What do you hope to do the next few years? Okay, so here we have a clue. We have the word next, which means that you're going to use a future tense, okay? En esta vamos a utilizar el futuro. What do you hope to do in the next few years? ¿Qué planean hacer en los siguientes años? Joanna, can you help me with the answer of this question? What do you hope to do or what do you plan to do in the next few years?
I hope to graduate and get a job and visit different places in our country.
Perfect, Joanna. Excellent. That's the way we do it. Let's go to the final question. Jimmy, can you help me answering the last question? What do you hope to do in the next few years?
Okay, in the next few years, I plan to graduate so that I can work, travel abroad, and meet new cultures and peoples.
Perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. So this is how the first part of your speaking test is going to be. In the next part, in the second part, you are also going to be evaluated individually. So we continue with this individual situation. What happens here? The thing is that you're going to be shown a picture where you will have to describe it. So the picture, obviously, it's not going to be the same for both people in the test. So each participant, each student, it's going to receive a different picture to describe. You're going to have just 2 to 3 minutes to describe the picture. And we have some tips to describe in a good way a picture. First, you can start describing what you can see as more evident. You know, for example, the number of people you see on the picture, if they are men or women, what are they doing? And if you have the possibility or you know or the vocabulary, you can use some words to describe where are these people, what are they doing, maybe the objects that they have in their background. Okay. So, for example, can you help me describing this picture? What do you see in the picture? Fausto, help me describing this picture.
Yes, teacher. This is boys in the university. They are students due to they look for a bibliography for your class. Other example for your final work in your career. ¿Qué más podría decirle?
Ok, Fausto, that can happen, ¿no? A veces ya no sabemos qué más decir. Eso nos puede pasar. Cuando ustedes ya no sepan qué más decir, en todo caso podríamos describir la ropa que están utilizando las personas, el color de la ropa, qué tienen en el fondo, ¿no? In this case, they have some books, things like that, ¿sí? Ese tipo de cosas, incluso la apariencia de las personas podríamos describir. Tiene cabello corto, tiene cabello largo, tiene barba, tiene bigote, etcétera, etcétera. Son formas de describir la foto. When you are describing the picture, take a lot of care when you are using pronouns. ¿Sí? Mucho ojo con los pronombres. Por ejemplo, a Fausto le escuché mucho que decía in your exam or your final exam. Ojo, que estamos hablando de ellos. ¿Sí? En este caso tendríamos que utilizar el pronombre their exam. ¿Sí? El examen de ellos. Están haciendo las tareas de ellos. ¿Sí? No estamos... hay que tratar de tener mucho ojo, mucho en cuenta esta parte de los pronombres posesivos, pronombres personales. ¿Sí? Si es que nos referimos a ella, pues utilizamos her. Si nos referimos a ellos, their. ¿Sí? Let's see some of your abilities to describe the picture. I'm going to share with you, let me see. I have a bunch of different images that you can describe. This is a way you can practice this part of the exam. Sí, esta parte del examen, nadie se puede como que correr de esta parte del examen. Sí, así que una buena idea, a good idea is to have some pictures or to watch some pictures on internet and try to describe them. Sí, tratar de buscar imágenes en internet y describir esas imágenes. Esa es una buena, un buen ejercicio. For example, let me see, I'm going to share the screen with you. Okay, let me see. Yes, here it is. I bet that you can also see the screen, right? Deben ustedes también estar viendo la pantalla. Sorry about that, guys, but my computer is about to die. Sí, mi computadora ya está pidiendo auxilio después de tantos semestres en modalidad virtual. Así que está un poquito lenta. But the images are starting to appear. Okay, let me make it bigger. There we go. Exacto, aquí tenemos unas cartas, ¿no? Les voy a indicar y van a ir viendo diferentes imágenes. Les voy a pedir a algunos de ustedes que me ayuden a describir la imagen que ven en pantalla, ¿ok? So, for example, could you help me describing the following picture, please, Juliet? Help me describing this picture. What can you see in that picture, Juliet?
There is a horse green to a man in the horse. There is a house in the yes. There is a many people.
There are.
Yep.
There are many people. Acuérdense, there is para una sola cosa. There are para muchas cosas. ¿Ok? Cuando, por ejemplo, se nos acaben las ideas y ya hayamos descrito lo que vemos, piensen en posibilidades para que ustedes puedan seguir hablando y no cortar su speaking. ¿Sí? En esta parte, ¿qué es lo que buscamos los examinadores? Primero, que puedan describir correctamente la imagen. Segundo, que su speaking sea fluido. Sí, que no haya tantas pausas o tantos silencios, ¿sí? En este caso, si ustedes ya no saben qué decir, imagínense. I think that maybe it's St. Patrick's Day because the guy over here is with a green jacket and the horse is also green. Or maybe they had a crazy party where everybody was having fun. Por ejemplo, si ya no saben qué decir, piensen en lo que se les venga a la mente, ¿no? Aquí pueden ustedes utilizar elementos de la cultura de habla inglesa. ¿A qué me refiero? Por ejemplo, si vemos como en esta imagen que todos están vestidos de verde, hasta el caballo lo han pintado de verde, seguramente es porque están en St. Patrick's Day, ¿sí? Y parte de saber inglés es también conocer la cultura de los otros países. Ustedes saben que St. Patrick's Day es una festividad muy, muy, muy importante en los países de habla inglesa, ¿sí? Entonces pueden valerse ustedes de esos recursos como para imaginar lo que puede estar pasando en la imagen, ¿sí? No solo estamos describiendo de forma literal, sino que también le estamos dando como que un sentido a la imagen. En este caso decíamos, seguramente el señor está festejando el día de San Patricio porque está vestido de verde, el caballo está de verde, o tal vez salió de una fiesta donde todo el mundo estaba divirtiéndose, ¿no? Entonces imaginamos algunos escenarios en este caso. Thank you, Juliet. Can you help me describing this picture, please, Priscilla? Help me, Prissy, describing this picture. Are you there, Priscilla? Okay.
¿Qué más están comiendo?
What else can you see? En este caso podríamos utilizar vocabulario de comida, clima. What else?
¿Le puede hacer más grandecita la
Yes, yes,
imagen?
yes. Sure.
Porfa. They smile at the camera. Están todos como que sonriendo, como posando para una foto.
Yes.
They are sitting. They are sitting. Ya no sé qué más.
Parece que es fácil, ¿no? 2 minutos, pero sí nos toma un poco más de tiempo. Se nos van muy rápido las ideas y parece que hemos dicho ya todo. In this case, for example, you can say this is a nice family. We can see, ojo, cuando ustedes hablan de la familia, acuérdense que tenemos mom, we have dad, we have maybe the brother, the 3 sisters, or maybe cousins. Try to use that vocabulary as well. You can also describe the food that they are eating. They are eating a watermelon, I can see right here. Okay, everybody's eating watermelons. And they have some bread in a basket. Over here, they have a bunch of fruits. They are sitting on the grass. Sí, están sentados en el pasto. They are sitting on the grass. And I think that it's a sunny day because the light is very bright. La luz está muy brillante, así que parece ser un día soleado, a sunny day. Maybe they are enjoying the holiday. Y tal vez están disfrutando el feriado. Or they just wanted to have a family time. O solo querían tener un momento en familia, ¿no? Y van describiendo la situación. No solo la imagen, sino si es que ustedes y eso no se les viene nada a la mente, describan la situación. ¿Sí? That could be a good idea as well. The next picture, it's going to help me describing this time, please. Let me see. Jennifer, could you help me describing this picture, please?
Yes. I can see a girl in the bibliotecary in a study. She have hair long probably on a study or exam. I can see other people probably is a teacher. No sé qué más decir.
Hay muchos que. What can you see?
Books.
Ajá, tienen derecha, izquierda, arriba, abajo, atrás, adelante. You know all those words. Tenemos ya conocimiento de esas palabras. Thank you, Jenny. So, to enrich your speaking, sí, para mejorar su speaking, traten de describir o utilizar todas esas frases que ya habíamos visto desde el primer nivel, ¿no? On the right side, I can see a lot of books, ¿sí? En el lado derecho puedo ver muchos libros, as well as in the left side, ¿sí? Tantos como en o al igual que en el lado izquierdo, es decir, que en la derecha hay muchos libros, en la izquierda hay muchos libros. Estamos describiendo, ¿no? Muy bien. Y lo mismo sucede con los colores, ¿no? Si quieren ustedes decir el color del cabello, sería black, long hair, ¿sí? Cabello negro. Primero iría el color y después el largo o el tamaño del cabello. Y lo que estamos describiendo que es la palabra cabello. Okay, guys. Let me just give you another one. ¿Sí? Vamos a describir una más y luego salimos al break, okay? Can you help me describing the following picture, Cynthia, please?
There are two men. The guitar, two guitar. There are the guitars, two guitars. Windows black.
¿Qué decíamos de los colores? ¿Qué iba primero?
El color y luego la
Black
windows.
Black windows. Okay. Where are they?
Jeans, the jeans black, the jeans is beige. ¿Cómo se dice beige, teacher?
The same color. Beige, beige color. Beige jeans or beige pants.
The shirts in bright, the shirt blue, blue the shirt.
Blue shirt, sí.
Blue shirt.
Blue shirt. What about this shirt? Which color is it?
Excuse me, teacher.
Which color is this shirt? ¿De qué color es este?
Bright, blanco.
White shirt.
White shirt and ¿qué más?
Es evidente aquí. Los dos son de la misma edad. ¿Quién crees que son?
The person is more old.
¿Cómo decíamos más viejito? Older. Older, acuérdense. Ven que vamos desempolvando todo eso que ya habíamos visto. Ajá, the man is older than. ¿Es más viejo que quién?
The boy.
Than the boy, exactly. Thank you, Cynthia. Can you help Cynthia describing this picture, please? George, help me describing this picture, please.
There are two men, one in the left and one in the right. They are playing the guitar. The man in the right is older than the other. Probably the man in the right is the instructor, and the other is the student. The place probably is an study of music. And the man in the left is wearing white shirt. He's wearing glasses, and the man in the right is wearing a blue shirt and brown pants. The guitar that the younger man is red. There is an electric guitar.
Very good.
Nothing.
Okay, very good. So when the teacher thinks that it's enough, he is going to say thank you. Sí, cuando ya estén los instructores o el instructor que les está tomando el speaking un poco satisfecho con su respuesta, les va a decir thank you, that's enough. Sí, es suficiente, muchas gracias. But that's the way you should do it, guys. Esa es la forma en la que deberían hacerlo. De forma fluida y corrida, más o menos como lo hizo su compañero George. It's a good way. So try to look for some different kind of pictures so you can practice your vocabulary. ¿Sí? A veces pensamos que ya tenemos todas las respuestas aquí, pero el momento de describir se nos van, se nos olvidan, no nos acordamos. Entonces es muy importante que practiquemos con muchas imágenes diferentes. ¿Sí? For example, here we have something about buildings. ¿No? Aquí tenemos algo de construcción. Aquí tenemos algo en lo que podemos implementar el vocabulario de mascotas, ¿no? Podrían describir la ropa, el lugar. Here we have activities, we have the nature where you can describe the place. Or maybe this case that you have some people in a restaurant, you have a lot of things here to describe. This is kind of a difficult one. ¿Sí? Esta sería una de las imágenes difíciles de describir, porque no tenemos mucho que describir, ¿no? Cuando no tenemos mucho que describir, debemos irnos por el lado de, como les decía, crear una pequeña historia, ¿no? I think this guy is going very fast to meet with his friends because it's Friday afternoon and he has just left his work or something like that. ¿Sí? Entonces vamos como creando una historia. Creo que este señor está yendo a encontrarse con sus amigos porque seguramente es viernes en la tarde y ya salió de la oficina, por eso está muy feliz y por eso está manejando rápido o algo así. Sí, es una forma para describir este tipo de imágenes que tienen cierta dificultad. Then we have some other pictures of family. Here we have some students with a piano. This guy with the Legos, toys, and this is a family dinner as well. So here we have, here you have some ideas that you can use in order to describe a picture. This, as I was telling you guys, this part 3 and 4 of the speaking are going to be evaluated or graded in groups, okay? So this is where we're going to see how good are you keeping communication with another student. For example, in this part 3, you're going to have another picture. So the teacher is going to show you another picture as the one we have over here. Okay, this is like an example of what you're going to see in this part 3 of the speaking. You're going to have 2 to 3 minutes to talk with your classmate and make a conversation. Okay, so you will have to prepare a spontaneous conversation. What is this conversation going to be about? Well, the teacher is going to explain you what it's going to be the situation. So you can both make the conversation together. For example, here you have a picture. I know that it's quite small and you cannot see as well as you would like to see, but this is just an example. For example, the teacher can ask you or can tell you, good morning, students. I'm going to explain you a situation and you're going to make a conversation. ¿Sí? Eso es lo que pueden escuchar ustedes del examinador. Buenos días, ustedes van a ver una imagen y yo les voy a explicar una situación. Okay, the situation is the following. These students are going to a course trip. Okay, so these students in the center of the picture, they all are going on a school trip. Okay, they are going to the capital of the country. In this case, let's imagine that they are going to Quito and they have to choose 2 activities to do in their trip. Okay, so talk to your classmate and discuss about the possible options or activities you can do in Quito. Okay, so once you have been told what you have to do or the situation, you need to start a conversation with your classmate. ¿Sí? Una vez que ya el instructor les ha dado la situación, ¿no? En este caso decíamos, imaginemos que los chicos del círculo del centro, de la imagen del centro, se van a un viaje escolar, se van a la capital, se van a Quito. Elijan al menos 2 actividades que ustedes consideran que ellos deberían hacer. Ok, that's the situation. Esa es la situación. ¿Qué van a hacer entonces? Ustedes van a empezar una conversación con su compañero, con el que sea que les haya tocado, y van a tratar de como de dar una sugerencia, dar su opinión, su punto de vista, ver si es que están de acuerdo o no están de acuerdo. ¿Sí? Y para eso vamos a emplear algunas frases. Okay, so don't forget that the activities you have to discuss are these ones. Sí, no se olviden que siempre las opciones de las cuales ustedes van a tener que analizar o discutir, perdón por el sonido, o discutir, van a ser las imágenes que estén alrededor de la imagen central. ¿Sí? Si por ahí alguien me dice swimming in the pool, no tiene sentido, ¿no? No tenemos en ninguna de las imágenes ninguna piscina ni nadie nadando en una piscina, ¿no? Entonces acuérdense de enfocarse en las opciones que tenemos en la pantalla, es decir, de todo lo que tengan ustedes alrededor de la imagen central. La imagen central nos recuerda más bien cuáles eran las instrucciones del profesor. Así que analizar las imágenes de alrededor. Por ejemplo, si la pareja con la que ustedes tienen que dar el speaking está demasiado nerviosa, no sabe cómo empezar una conversación ni para atrás ni para adelante, empiecen ustedes. ¿Ok? So you can start like, are you ready? ¿Sí? Podrían empezar haciendo una pregunta como, ¿estás listo? Are you ready? What do you think about, ¿sí? ¿Qué opinas de? What do you think about going to visit a castle? Like the image we have in the middle. What do you think about going to a castle? I think that it's a good idea because they can learn something new about the story of the castle. What do you think? Do you agree? ¿qué opinas? ¿No? Entonces, para continuar la conversación o que haya continuidad, ustedes van a hacerle una pregunta a su compañero, ¿no? What do you think? ¿Qué opinas? ¿Estás de acuerdo? Do you agree or disagree? ¿Sí? Y así mantenemos como la fluidez de la comunicación. La otra persona podría responder, yes, I agree, it's a good idea. Sí, estoy de acuerdo, es una buena idea. But why don't we go, or why don't they go to the movies, for example? Or, no, aquí no tenemos películas. Parece que hay un museo, ¿no? Why don't they go to the museum? I think that could be a good idea too. ¿Sí? ¿Por qué no van mejor al museo? Creo que también sería una buena idea. ¿Sí? Y así vamos manteniendo la comunicación y ustedes van como dándose ideas, diciendo en lo que están de acuerdo, en lo que no están de acuerdo. What happens, guys, if your classmate, ¿qué pasa si su compañero de speaking se va por la tangente? ¿Sí? What happens if he says, I like to go to the museum? ¿Sí? ¿Qué se da? Son casos reales y puede pasar que alguno de sus compañeros diga, sí, a mí me gusta ir al museo, pero la pregunta no es qué le gusta a él, ¿no? Sino tratar de encontrar una solución para la propuesta que nos han hecho. En ese caso, ustedes tienen que tratar de volver a encaminar a la otra persona hacia la conversación. ¿Cómo hacemos eso? Podemos utilizar frases como, oh, that's interesting, but let's talk about the image. What do you think if they go to the museum? ¿Sí? Volvamos a la imagen. ¿Qué opinas de ellos yendo al museo? Okay. Sorry about the sound, guys, but my dogs are barking like crazy. And let me share with you some extra phrases as well. Look at this, guys. Here we have some expressions we can use in order to start the conversation, to maybe say what we think, or to make any suggestions. Sí, acuérdense que estábamos dando sugerencias, ¿no? ¿Y qué les parece si seleccionamos esto o mejor esto? So we can use this kind of phrases. Podríamos utilizar cualquier tipo de estas frases, ¿no? We also have some other phrases, for example, when you agree or disagree to something, para decir que ustedes están de acuerdo con lo del compañero o no están de acuerdo con lo que dice su compañero, podemos utilizar este tipo de frases que tenemos aquí. Here we have some interesting phrases. You know most of them. And you have, I think, a bunch of extra phrases that you can use because we have seen them this during the semester. So you can use all those phrases. Here we have some others, right? When you prefer something. Cuando ustedes quieren decir que prefieren una actividad a otra, podríamos ocupar este tipo de frases. Ojo que también es muy importante tener en cuenta el tiempo, es decir, you have 2 to 3 minutes to make a simple dialogue, de 2 a 3 minutos para un diálogo corto. Eso significa que también van a tener que concluir. ¿Sí? Para concluir es importante utilizar frases como estas. So, we think they should, ¿sí? Ya como para resumir, decimos, entonces, nosotros creemos que la mejor opción para los chicos es hacer esta y esta actividad, ¿sí? Es decir, traten de en los 2 o 3 minutos alcanzar a concluir esa conversación, ¿ok? So these are some useful phrases you can use. Aquí tenemos algunas frases que pueden ser muy útiles. See, pay attention to the phrases because, well, anyway, I'm going to share with you the phrases. Les voy a compartir también estas frases del grupo de WhatsApp. Don't worry, let me do it right now. Sí, les voy a compartir en este momento. Y así vamos a poder tener una pequeña práctica muy cortita y muy rápida sobre esta parte 3 del speaking. ¿Sí? Tengan en cuenta estas frases porque nos van a servir para poder hacer el diálogo. Sí, acuérdense que el tiempo es bien cortito. Let me share with you the image right here so you can have it. A ver. Aquí tienen ustedes, debe ya estarles llegando la primera imagen, que es las frases para empezar, para dar su opinión. Ojo que no es obligatorio que ustedes ocupen todas y cada una de estas frases, ¿no? Simplemente les sirven como una guía para poder entablar una conversación. Okay, you have both phrases on your screen. Pay attention, guys, what we're going to do next. Pongan mucha atención a lo que va a ir a continuación. Next, you have this image. A continuación, ustedes pueden ver esta imagen. Right? Aquí tenemos una imagen. Como la que ustedes pueden tener en la parte 3 del speaking. ¿Cuál es la situación? Listen carefully to the situation, guys. These 4 students right here have 1 day free. Okay, so they have like vacations, 1 day of vacation, just 1 day of vacation, and they are planning to go and do something together. Which activity do you think is the best for these 4 students over here? Discuss with your classmate which activity do you think these 4 students should do in their free day. Ok. Esa es la situación que yo les pongo. Si estos 4 chicos tienen un día libre, ¿sí? ¿Qué actividad podrían hacer juntos en ese día libre? ¿Cuál sería la mejor actividad que podrían hacer? That's the situation you have. Ojo, que pueden tener la misma imagen, diferentes evaluadores, pero la situación va a depender mucho de cada profesor. Cada profesor les puede elegir lo que les pide. En este caso yo les estoy pidiendo qué actividad de las que tenemos ahí deberían hacer en el día libre que tienen estos chicos. Puede ser que otros profesores les pregunten qué actividades no deberían realizar estos chicos un día viernes por la tarde, por ejemplo. ¿Sí? Entonces, el comando o la instrucción va a depender mucho del examinador. You need to pay attention. Hay que tener mucha atención en esta parte. Another tip that I'm going to share with you before we start is that if you don't understand, guys, or the instruction wasn't clear enough, please ask to the teacher. Ask as many times as you need in order to understand. ¿Sí? Pregunten las veces que crean necesarias hasta comprender la instrucción. Porque si no van a hablar algo que no tiene nada que ver. Y eso es peor porque les va a restar menos puntos. Les va a restar más puntos, perdón. Y van a obtener menos puntaje. It's always a good idea to ask, for example, sorry, teacher, I didn't understand the instruction. Could you repeat, please? Or could you repeat again, please? ¿Sí? Utilicen esas frases muy educadas para pedir al profesor que les repita la instrucción si es que no está clara. Okay, so you know the instruction, right? These 4 students have a free day and they want to do something. Which activity should these 4 kids do in their free day? Okay. Sí, ya tenemos entonces la instrucción. Ustedes saben lo que les he pedido. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Van a hacer un diálogo cortito, ¿sí? Preguntándose qué actividad deberían hacer estos chicos en su día libre. Para que se les haga mucho más fácil, to make it easier, this activity, I'm going to share with you the image so you can as well share it in the group you are, ¿sí? Pueden compartir la imagen dentro de sus grupos para que se les haga mucho más hacer el diálogo. For this activity, guys, you're going to have 6 minutes. That is the double time you have in real situation, ¿sí? Así que tienen más que suficiente tiempo para hacer este diálogo. Tenemos el doble de tiempo, es decir, 6 minutos para realizar el diálogo. Vamos a trabajar en parejas, como si ya estuviésemos en una práctica real del PET exam, ¿ok? Something important here. Algo importante, voy a ir de grupo en grupo escuchándoles para ver cómo les va con el diálogo, qué tan bien están estructurando su diálogo. We're almost about to end, ¿sí? Yo les decía, la clase de hoy va a durar menos, ¿sí? Va a durar mucho menos porque las prácticas de hoy son mucho más sencillas. Sin embargo, tengo todavía que explicarles un par de cositas de la siguiente semana. Okay, guys, let's see if you listen what you have to do. Vamos a ver si está claro lo que debemos hacer. Can you please tell me, Bibi, what do we have to do? ¿Qué debemos hacer? Bibi, no te escucho. Está el micrófono encendido, pero no escucharte. I think Bibi has problems with the microphone. Don't worry, Bibi. Priscilla, can you help me, please? What do we have to do? ¿Qué tenemos que hacer?
Nos va a poner en parejas para poder hacer el speaking y en 6 minutos para
Exacto. Remember the instruction. Si no se olviden de la instrucción. Hay que elegir la actividad que estos chicos deberían hacer en su tiempo libre. Okay, so we have We have 6 minutes to do this activity, guys. Let's do this. And you can start entering to your groups now. Pueden ya empezar a ingresar a sus grupos, chicos. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Start entering to the groups. Well done. Thank you, Stefano. Fausto, please enter to your groups. Okay, thank you. Fausto, you are the one who's missing. Please enter to your group. Hello, Fausto, are you there? Can you enter to your group, please? Okay. How is your conversation going on, guys?
No, a day o algo así. Y tú, en cambio, me dirías ahí más o menos como que...
A ver, entonces.
como que yo te diría, mira, tengo estas... mira, tengo... A ver. Tengo esta imagen en la cual los estudiantes planean hacer algo en un día libre. ¿Tú qué piensas que podrían hacer algo así? Entonces... ahí tú me responderías, por ejemplo, con una opción de la imagen que está ahí, como que podrían ir al cine, ir a ver una película que está de estreno.
Dime en inglés.
Por ejemplo, podría ser del de cine, ¿no? They could also go to a movie theater and see a new movie. Podrían ir al cine y ver una película de estreno. Y después tú me preguntarías tal vez, ¿tú qué piensas o qué opinas? A ver, ya le voy acomodando.
Eso. Ay, teacher. Ya cuando vamos, ya terminamos.
¿Cómo les fue?
Bien, teacher, ahí. Solo eran dos actividades, o sea, dos lugares donde tocaba ir, ¿cierto? Ok.
Which places did you choose? ¿Qué lugares eligieron?
Ir al picnic, que estaba ahí.
Yeah, the museum.
Y el otro. Y al museo.
Ok.
Teacher, ¿pintura se dice painting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
De acuerdo a cómo estén dando el examen, les ponen las parejas aleatoriamente.
Sí, las parejas van a ser asignadas de forma aleatoria. Es decir, que no sabemos con quién nos vaya a tocar. Por eso es muy importante, como les decía, en la parte 3, que ustedes como que traten de ser los que impulsan a que fluya la conversación, ¿sí? Acuérdense que en la parte 3 tienen que hacer la conversación y como no saben cómo sea la otra parte o la otra persona que les toca de compañero, pues tienen que tratar ustedes como que de sacar a flote la comunicación en la parte 3. Y en la parte 4, pues ya les van a preguntar de forma individual, sí, preguntas relacionadas a la parte 3, pero ya con un enfoque más personal. Así que lo que más se va a demorar es en realidad en que vayan pasando las parejas, porque como ustedes saben, puede ser que tengamos unas, qué sé yo, unas 10 parejas, 15 parejas, y cada pareja son 15 minutos, ¿no? Aproximadamente. Entonces, más tiempo va a demorar en que ustedes entren que en que ustedes den el examen de speech. Any other question, guys? No more questions about the speaking? If so, guys, remember that this is our last class. So it means that next class you're going to have your final exam. How is it going to be, or what is it going to be about? The final exam, it's going to be about the 5 units we have seen in the book. So please study from unit 1 to unit 5. And also keep in mind some of these tips of the PET exam, because I'm not sure, because I'm not the one who makes the exams, but maybe there can be a question about the PET exam. Maybe how many parts does the PET exam have, or something like that. Okay, so pay attention to that. The day before the exam, please check that your webcam is working good. Check that your microphone is good, that your internet connection is good. And keep in mind, or have a plan B just in case something else happens. For example, if the light turns off or something else happens, please try to have a plan B for that case. Your Cambridge platform, probably I'm going to be uploading your grades these days. And I don't know, how are you doing with your project, guys? ¿Cómo les está yendo con el proyecto también?